Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. And today, I got an interesting little video for you. We have recently been through a bevy of released WWE stars in the past, I'd say it's about 3 weeks now. And with that being said, I am going to try to predict, or at least this is where I think most of them are going to end up. So, I hope you guys are ready, and let's get started. And starting out with the most released, recently released superstar, Curtis Axel, which just happened today of all days. If you don't know who Axel is, he's the son of Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, grandson of Larry the Axe Hennig from like way back in the day. He is not a bad superstar. He actually cut one hell of a promo on his last day on NXT. Back when it was a game show. He has held some titles, couple-time Intercontinental title holder, held more than a couple tag team titles, including with his most recent partner, Bo Dallas. And it's a little weird right now. So, where I think he would be the best fit is the NWA. I know it's a little bit of a smaller promotion, but I feel like with his old school nature, his parentage, I think he'd be a good fit there. Next up, a superstar who hasn't really been wrestling for a while, so this isn't really much of a surprise, Kurt Angle. Now, he last wrestled at WrestleMania 35 against, in a losing effort to Baron Corbin, of all people. He has been settled into more of a backstage role, but here's the thing. I don't know if he wants to wrestle anymore. So, if that's the case, maybe he could be a backstage agent for AEW or something. I don't know. Next up, one of a bit of a surprise, but I kind of understand it. Drake Maverick, the former rock star Spud. Spud did have his moments in Impact, got signed to WWE, became the 205 Live general manager. And he, as of now, even though he's released, he is competing in a tournament for the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Once that's over, he's pretty much done with WWE. I'd love to see him go back to Impact. AEW maybe, but I don't want them signing too many of these guys. So I'd say Impact. Just because they're kind of going a little old schoolish now, and I liked Spud back then. Not that I don't like Spud now. Next up, a tag team that was released, and a bit of a surprise, considering they were involved in Night 1's main event at WrestleMania, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I get WWE doesn't like, or Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling, but come on, they were a big part of the story for a main event. Why are you going to... Anyway, the place I'd like to see them go, and it's kind of been teased already by Carl Anderson, in a return to Japan, and potentially the Bullet Club, where Carl Anderson was an original member, and he tagged with Luke Gallows not long after that. Could they potentially go to AEW with their ties? Maybe. But I think they're a better fit in New Japan. Next up, kind of not a surprise considering how he's been not used on TV recently, EC3. I believe he was on season 2 of the NXT that was the game show as Derek Bateman. He got released then after that, not long after that. And he went to TNA, became Ethan Carter III. That's where EC3 comes from, if you didn't know. And, yeah, this is his second release after... He did kind of get a premature call-up before WrestleMania and was really giving a mute gimmick, even though he's, like, one of the best promos ever. Like, he's a fantastic promo. Go watch his old Impact stuff. He is a great talker, and he's not a bad wrestler either. And now I would say, no AEW for him. I think he would be a decent fit, especially within Jericho's Inner Circle stable, considering that's already kind of been teased on Jericho's on EC3's Instagram, where he's seen with Chris Jericho. So I think that could be a pretty good match there. Next up, Lio Rush, former Cruiserweight champion, really young, athletic dude. He's really hasn't been given that much of a chance with WWE. However, he does have a little bit of an attitude problem, and I don't know if he would be a great fit for AEW, so I'd say he goes on the indies for a bit, then maybe signs with Major League Wrestling or something. Actually, I think that works. I like that. Then here's a man who really actually has a backup plan, Kurt Hawkins, in that he has a wrestling school in Nassau County, kind of turned smallish wrestling promotion called Creative Pro Wrestling. I think you guys should check that out. That's where MJF and Chris Statlander came from. And I think he goes back there, maybe does a tour of the indies for a bit. Eric Young. Eric Young was definitely white hot coming in. He started the Sanity stable. Then they get called up to the main roster, and Vince doesn't get it, which should not surprise me anymore. So, I think he would be a good fit back in Impact, especially now that they have Petey Williams back. And I feel like they would be good together as a tag team. A little Team Canada reunion, especially considering Bobby Roode is still in the WWE. So, I think that would be good. Heath Slater. Heath Slater is an interesting case because I feel like he should have been a WWE for life kind of guy, but apparently not. I don't know where a good place for him would be. So I think what I would like to see is him do a little run on the indies and then maybe sign with like Impact or somebody. I'd be down with that. An interesting one, a man who hasn't really wrestled in a while. He's been mostly either a hype man for Rusev or a commentator. I believe he last commentated on NXT UK. So, there's obviously that. I'm not sure where he would go. That's an interesting one. I think he would... There's been talks of him reuniting with Rusev on the indies, so maybe that'll happen for a while. I'd be okay with that. Next up, Sarah Logan, which is kind of a surprise considering her husband, I believe, is Hanson in the Viking Raiders. That's a little odd. She does have some independent work as Mary Dobson, I believe her name was, prior to WWE, so I think she'll go with that. And as much as I don't want to say it, I think she'd be a pretty good fit in AEW. just because she would help that women's division that needs a little help, I think. Not a ton, but just a little bit. Referee Mike Chioda, who, that's a name I didn't think I'd see on there. I think he's going to retire. I don't think he's reffing for much longer. A bit of a surprise pick, Eric Rowan. Luke Harper's former tag team partner. I figured he'd be right up Vince's alley, but I guess not. So, I think he does like PWG, maybe some indie spots, whatever. I don't think he's going to get signed by a major promotion, considering he's not that great. Sorry, Eric. I love you, dude, but you're not that great. Another tag team which got released, a team really long forgotten by WWE, Epico and Primo Cologne. And they have actually been, at least on the side, wrestling for their father/uncle's company in Puerto Rico, I believe it is. So I think they're going to go there full time now. Once this whole thing is over. A husband-wife combination, Mike and Maria Kanellis, or Mike Bennett now. One place I think that would really have a spot for them is Ring of Honor. And they could re-team up with Matt Taven, who, if you've never heard of, he's actually really good, and reform the Kingdom tag team. I feel like that would be the best fit for him. Maybe he does an Impact run here or there. I don't know. Could be a fun place. Another very interesting one. So far, WWE for lifer Zack Ryder, who I cannot believe has been released. He does have a working friendship with one of the current VPs of AEW, Cody Rhodes. So I think what is going to happen is he is going to go to AEW, but I think he's going to be put on Dark for a bit and kind of, well, he recently put in some papers for the rights to Internet Champion, and I believe he's going to bring that back and defend that on AEW Dark for a bit, which I think that's fine. Give Dark a little something else. I don't know. A bit of an unfortunate superstar here, No Way Jose, dude with more of a dancing, happy kind of vibe, and apparently he never liked the gimmick, which didn't really show it, but whatever. I think he'd be a good fit for Impact Wrestling and really finally show what he can do in the ring, because I think he's good. He's really underrated. A potential superstar in the making, Rusev. Now, I did say I would like him and Aiden English to team up on the Indies together for a bit, but I do believe he will end up in AEW. Mostly just because this is another guy who we all feel could have been a superstar, and AEW is going to make a superstar. Another woman release, Deonna Purrazzo, who she had her time in NXT, a couple of Raw squash matches, which is a shame because she's very good. I think she was meant to be with AEW when it started, but then got a WWE contract. So I think she's going to be in AEW for sure. If not, I'd really like to see her in Impact, because the knockouts are really killing it right now. And last, but certainly not least, an unfortunate member of the Kings of Wrestling, Cassius Ohno, the former Chris Hero. If you don't know who the Kings of Wrestling are, they are a tag team that started in Ring of Honor. It was Hero, Ohno, and Cesaro, of all people. So, as for where he's going to go, I think he would probably be a really good fit in AEW. Maybe go back to Ring of Honor for a solo run for a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much the list for now. There are writers and backstage hands who have been forlonged, which is why I don't mention them. Yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.